Hello, guys. Good evening from Ukraine. It is 9 p.m. Kyiv time. Greetings, guys. Glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes, and warm greetings to all of your beautiful oblasts. Please let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Greetings to Portland, greetings to Finland, Helsinki, Tallinn, so many beautiful places. Yeah, we definitely need likes in our community, but please let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Thank you so much. It is indeed important, and a very important notice at the start. Yesterday we had electricity shut out. It was kind of, I cannot call it a blackout, but we did not have a schedule. And in the evening, my electricity at home switched off. It was close to an hour, but without specific warnings. So if something similar happens today and it interrupts our live stream, please know this is because of this electricity shortages, and you all really well know, caused by orcs and their attack on Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Yesterday it was huge when they targeted Dnipro hydroelectric station, for example. A beautiful city of Kharkiv is without electricity for 3 days already. So please know if something happens, to the live stream and I get without electricity, you have to know it's just like I'm okay, but enjoying solitude in the darkness, Oh, I see we have a troll here wishing glory to Orkland. And this is the moment to introduce, thank you so much for your sponsorship already. And of course, today we are together with my friends, Martin and Spencer, who are doing, who are cleaning trolls in the comments. We all know there are not many of them, but anyway, it is extremely good that we have our team. Also, I want to say my special thanks to Rudy, who was making a countdown to our start of the meeting. It is extremely pleasant that you wait for this meeting just as I do. And greetings to Madrid, greetings to North Carolina, Chicago, so many beautiful places, United Kingdom. And Michael, not only Martin, Spencer, Rudy, but also Michael are doing great job to support our community, and many good friends. And greetings to Wisconsin, to Ontario, to New York City Oblast. Love it. First of all, thank you so much for this community that we have. And, it looks every day that we have so many things that we can discuss together. And I will briefly outline this most important things that happen to us and to the world today. And I'm sure, greetings to Turku, and I'm sure we will have lots of questions to discuss today. Hello, sister, and welcome to the conversation today. And we talk today about loss of control in Russia over many territories, and that is huge, actually. Thank you so much, Scott, for buying me coffees. I have if you can hear a weird sound, this is cola without whiskey, I promise. But with lemon, I practice things like that. So this is cola with lemon, and it gives this sparkling sound that I love so much since childhood. I have association of it with it during holidays or something like that. So I'm really glad that in the comments below before the start of our conversation, you started writing what you want to drink today. William, hello, and thank you for buying coffees and your continued support. And you were sharing diet cola, honestly, yeah. So we do have cola, tap water, really good kinds of whiskey, tea, and all the good things. So Yesterday was really bad. And you might have noticed in my video that I was slightly sad. And typically, that I'm an optimist and I like to keep it like fighter mood. But I was really devastated with this night attack. And when they tried to target a dam, um, 8 missiles stuck in that dam of Dnipro hydroelectric station, and realizing um, what it can lead to. I mean, like knowing how they blown up Kakhovka Dam, how many deaths and destructions it caused, and to the nature, it is also an awful thing. And imagining what might have happened, also seeing photos of this burning trolley bus, and then reading that Ukrainians are advised not to target Russian oil refineries when this is something that we can do with this limited Ukrainian resources. I was like a little bit shocked and quite sad because we are trying to survive, and sometimes it feels like people are telling you, you are too active in your efforts to survive. Please keep it uh, less active. And this is indeed crazy. And that's why I was actually happy that last night, we've targeted the oil refinery again in Samara, which means we continue this tactic, and this is indeed good. And by the way, after this stream, there will be a brief video. Sometimes when we have live, I do not share videos, but today I was like a home cat, if it's possible, like super domestic. And I decided, why not record another video? And thank you so much. You look better today. Thank you. That is the sweetest, like, there is such a thing that I did not manage to buy tulips yet. I will do that tomorrow, promise, and you will see that on the videos. I do love flowers, and that's always an inspiration to have this opportunity, especially when spring comes. But there's like compliments that all people like it. You look better today, or oh, you look. You don't look that old as you are, or something like that. It's always like super, super nice. But anyway, once again, I am not 100% sure like that Washington did not let Ukraine target, or that we will listen. But of course, there are always people who first put money ahead, and second, from what I read inside Ukraine, this oil prices, they are not, unfortunately, not yet connected with the actions of Ukraine. It's more about this Hussites changing the routes for oil trailers in the ocean, making the routes twice longer. As always, it is elections all over the world, and especially in the US, and people trying to influence population opinion and so on. So these are definitely difficult times, but I'm sure like we will continue targeting oil refineries, and people will return back to support Ukraine. Also, this attack in Moscow, you know that YouTube is very sensitive, and from time to time, all of you tell me that comments disappear. My comments disappear from time to time. Anders Pak Nilsson, who is a really cool YouTuber speaking about war in Ukraine, also said he has like troubles with channel. Well, and I see it happens from time to time, like waves. I have addressed all the sources that are possible on YouTube, and perhaps the most common, the best like answer is, well, tell people how to comment and so on. Thank you so much for buying sponsorship and joining the community of sponsors. Anyway, it is not like, I'm not sure if it's always trolls or if it's YouTube being too sensitive. Yeah, thank you so much, Neil. And Neil, our friend, is with us. And thank you for reminding. Let's hit thumbs up if you are watching and if you enjoy watching. And I don't mind people coming to Ukraine, but I hope sometime soon it will be safer to do so. And the attack in Moscow. First, there are lots of things that make me feel very bad about that. Mm, First, like the US Embassy in Moscow warned on the 7th of March something is coming. Intelligence services were talking about that. It is common for Putin to organize similar attacks. Thank you so much, Gregory, for buying sponsorship. It is very typical for Putin to do it. He actually started his career with this kind of approach. What is also like worth mentioning, in the morning, ISIS actually claimed they are responsible for this attack, and actually, I think it may be real, taking into account that like they wanted this huge Christian gathering to target, and Russia is now trying to very much. Thank you so much, Duncan, for trying to create this image of radical Orthodox Ruski Mir doctrine. So potentially some clashes may appear in future, and we don't know. Maybe this is ISIS. But what I love like about this crazy Russian propaganda machine, everybody like US says we warned you, ISIS says we did that, and Putin says no, that people had Ukrainian telephone numbers on the. Um, if you would ask me what I think, why this attack in Moscow took place, first of all, Putin got his new um, like carte blanche. Do you have this? Like, definitely, it's not a Ukrainian phrase; it's borrowed, but from some European language. But anyway, the meaning is that he has 6 more years of his dictatorship. He did not try much. Um, it was not really hard for him, and people did show up. And now he has future, unfortunately, as he sees it in front of him, and he will definitely need some mobilization. And it's difficult to persuade people, and very often Vlad Wexler explains why Russian population is so depoliticized, that actually Putin and his team worked for ages to make them totally ignorant, to make them very passive, and whenever they have a question about something, like they say, oh, it's politics is not for me, when actually politics is everywhere. And I, from one point of view, I don't want to be a politician. You know that I don't want to be a president of Ukraine, but I think that everything is politics to a great extent. How do you speak about your country? What films you advise people to watch? Thank you so much, Martin, for coffees. That's an inspiration. Cheers to that. But anyway, what curriculums you have at school, what products you can buy at the supermarket, this is also politics. Like, for example, McDonald's not leaving Ukraine in times of war and opening new restaurants is a very beautiful example of support for me. I had fish fillet before stream. And I think it is extremely important to feel the support and to support each other, and politics present everywhere. So he felt like he was trying to make his population for decades very passive, and now he needs their support to some extent, because he needs people to join the army, he needs people to not to protest, because from time to time we see protests inside Russia, and he needs to like mobilize them, and I mean both directly and indirectly. What I mean by directly, like he will start this new wave of mobilization and recruiting people to um, the army. But also he needs to make population hate us more, hate the West more, and guys, you too, and make everyone want this war. And that's one of the things. What also bothers me greatly is the fact that we all know Putin lost control of Belgorod and Kursk regions. There is, like today, when talking about Moscow attack in Crocus Center, he tried to say there was a corridor prepared for these criminals to escape. how was the corridor prepared on the strongly protected Russian border? Well, this sentence proves that Putin does not have any control over Russian border in these two regions, and they actually border Sumy and Kharkiv. And what is important, this means that he's going to be aggressive in these Russian regions. From what we see, and sometimes I read toxic Telegram channels in Russia, friends help me, and they do not speak about that. And this is a great difference between the start of war in Ukraine and this start of war in Russia. When it was in Ukraine, we knew everything. We were advised what not to share because it's bad and like enemies can correct targets or something. We were very quickly, we have become super media literate, because when your life, or for example, the existence of your building depends on your media literacy, believe me, you will become media literate super quickly. And now, honestly, I think that after we win, apart from very important things, we can also teach media literacy in times of crisis. You can hire me. And so what they did is we were always informed. We know now that, for example, an air raid alert, I have it on my phone. Yeah, I have cats on my phone. I have it on my phone. And this, and who do you recognize who is? No, I'm not showing any moderators today. Can you recognize a guy on my screen? One of my favorite guys in history. Who has a version? Let us know in the comments. But anyway, we are always informed, and when we have an air raid alert, our applications on the screen, they tell us that this is MiG flying, or danger of ballistic missiles, or something like that. And in Russia, they say like all Belgorod on fire, real like Russian volunteers fighting with Russian ordinary. No, correct. Julius Caesar, yeah, yeah, Julius Caesar. So many of these things like happening, and Russian authorities they call it explosive events. Explosive events. Can you imagine that? Like, guys, explosive events, not just like war or at least special military operation or something. These are explosive. Yeah, your cat is is lucky. So we share love for Julius Caesar. Thank you so much. Martin and Spencer helped me a lot. I've asked them and they are doing it like perfect. We invite you to join Discord. Also subscribe to my Instagram. I have this crazy idea. I want 10,000 people there, and you can join me there. And greetings, Paul, and also our merch shop. Yeah, it does have lots of good t-shirts, sweatshirts, and things that you may buy for spring season. And once again, remind about Ukraine, our culture, our language, many different things. So yeah, this is Julius Caesar, and in Russia they do not warn people since the start of war, realizing that they use these territories as Plattsdarm, hiding lots of weapons in these regions, using them for the supply of Russian front lines. They did not check anything. They do not have bomb shelters. They do not have normal air raid. Like in Ukraine, we had 2 weeks and everything was working, and in Russia, they don't have it. And there are lots of photos, and they actually terrifying how they try to modify bus stops. Like there is a bus stop, not underground but above the ground, and around that bus stop you will see lots of sacks with sand, something similar we do around our monuments. That's the way to protect them, but it definitely does not help with during like a serious attack when you're outside, and people stop doing that. And well, like I hate watching photos from Russian streets because typically they are very depressive, very dirty, very like lots of inscriptions, like, well, something that you will not see in even small depressive Ukrainian towns, and during wartime. And they do not protect that population. And according to some Russian toxic telegram channels, they bomb Kursk and Belgorod regions. We don't have this opportunity. Putin has, and that's the way he fights with volunteer corps, with Freedom of Russia Legion, simply by bombing without any selection, without any normally organized evacuation of the civilians. And one of the things that I think is the fact that he may use this act in Moscow, potentially co-organized with FSB to attack then Kursk and Belgorod, and to be very, very, very active there. I mean, like doing hell on that Russian territories, and blaming once again Ukraine, anti-terroristic operation against Ukraine, or something like that. That might be some kind of explanation. And thank you for becoming my patrons. I'm honored to have such a great team of patrons, and I'm always very, very grateful to you for doing that. So, of course, Putin is hiding. And thank you so much, Yemi, for the coffees. Thank you. You know, like, I don't know why it is like there are lots of cases. By the way, once again, Russians are producing bombs and missiles. Thank you so much, Christoph. Cheers to the coffees. You know, like they are producing missiles like crazy, but doing it 3 shifts with lack of people, and like in Russian style, with traditional Russian negligence. There are lots of new supplies they produce, and they are of low quality. And there are lots of tragedies happening on their production sites. They also often drop bombs while flying to Ukraine. Can you imagine that in any normal country, if something similar would happen? I mean, like your own aircraft bombing your own cities, that would be like all over the news, all over the world. And what do we have like when it happens in Russia? Nothing. It's just like normal. Or thank you so much, Bruce, for sponsoring the channel. And you know, another very weird thing that I could not understand at the start of serious Ukrainian special military operation in the Black Sea, when we sank lots of their ship, and also they could not fly with their aircraft above. You remember that beautiful season when we were destroying their aircrafts a lot. Luckily, no one advised us not to. And we were working really hard on that. And they were afraid to fly. There was panic among Russian pilots, and because Ukrainians are strong, and many people like they realize that. Thank you so much, Tony, and thank you for joining as a patron and for joining the channel. This is indeed something very inspiring for me. And what I wanted to say is that Russians at first tested a new kind of like propaganda message, saying that all of the aircraft that were downed, that exploded and were destroyed by Russian air defense. And I was like thinking, guys, why are you making yourself so negligent, like so crazy, so stupid? And they were trying to describe it like, oh, this is just a mistake, and we will learn on these mistakes, and mistakes will not repeat. They did not want to make glory to heroes. We do not want to make Ukraine look strong, and that's why we say that we target our own aircraft with our own air defense. This is only possible in Russia, same as this attack in Moscow. US warns something is happening, intelligence services shout about that, ISIS says this is our responsibility, and Putin says, no, no, no. According to my plan, this is Ukraine. And once again, of course, it will lead to more bombings and aggression on Ukraine. But I think it is also going to cause lots of troubles inside Russia, more severe mobilization, and potentially bombings and shellings of these regions that are out of Putin's control. And yeah, remember to like the video if you like what we're talking here, and welcome to my Patreon. Thank you so much for joining it. Later, I will drop all of you messages because I stay in contact with my patrons. And the question, will Ukraine recruit more soldiers? Yes, of course. We have a new mobilization law that is now in the Parliament of Ukraine, Verkhovna Rada. And I think it's time for me to start answering your questions because it's not about me talking. Good evening, Michael. It's more about you asking the questions and me providing some answers. But I do want us to understand, to speak, and please, like, I am very grateful when you let me know that you share these messages, that you speak to those who doubt, that you persuade, or simply talk to your colleagues, I don't know, your friends and family. The fact that it is extremely important that we have to understand Russia is weak. And if we stay united, this is the best way to finish them. I mean, and we have to do it because if Russia is not stopped, if Putin is not prosecuted, not taken to The Hague, it will be a problem. Thank you so much, and greetings to Denmark. And thank you so much for all of the kind messages that you say. And listen to Martin, who encourages more likes to come. So what is important to understand that war has already returned to Russia. And something that seemed totally unbelievable at the start of invasion, when Putin persuaded his allies, and also he persuaded lots of people around the world who were even our friends, that he will take over Ukraine really quickly. I remember President Zelensky sharing at the start of invasion how some people from EU countries were telling him to escape, were telling him they will support Ukrainian government in the exile, and saying you can do nothing against Russia. But look at us now, 2 years and like a month after the start of full-scale invasion, 10 years since the start of war, and we are answering. We are a country. We are a candidate to the European Union. We are, greetings to Italy, beautiful, strong country that learns really quickly and that develops our own techniques. And being limited in resources, we have this possibility to use our drones. And for example, this Samara refinery that was targeted last night, one of the biggest in Samara region for Rosneft. It can produce 1 million tons of oil, and thank you, Corpan. And it can produce a lot, and it is located more than 1,000 kilometers away from the border with Ukraine. 1,000. Oh my God, 1,000. I'm really bad with English numerals. Thank you so much, Richard, for joining the channel as a patron too. So this is extremely important to understand that now we have, what do we have? We have fires all over Russia, and they are extremely important. Thank you so much, Francis, for buying me coffees. And I know some of you may feel that I'm interrupting, but it is a blessing to have people who support the channel and help me grow and help me dedicate more time to the project. And we have a team who film, who help me with the thumbnails, and it's all your work, and I'm super grateful for that. So what I want to say is that after these 2 years of full-scale war, it is not Ukraine that has fallen and you think who will come next and so on. It is Russia that is on fire. For me today, Russia is hell. And now it finally looks like one. And explosions all over oil refineries that are vital for Russian economy. They don't have a normal economy. They have this fake, as someone of you, my subscribers, my friends, beautifully said, Russia has dig and sell economy. And I often quote that, dig and sell. Nothing about creation, nothing about innovation. I'm sure there are no people who are ready to invest in Russia today. And what they do, they either loot, steal, or they sell natural resources. Moreover, these natural resources are actually located not on the territory of classic Russia, Moscovia, but somewhere in temporarily occupied, totally different areas of Russian Federation that one day may become um, independent, like this protest that we've seen in Bashkortostan. And this is, well, my God, I'm really glad that when we talk about this loss of control over Russian territories, there are actually many topics that we can talk about. First of all, this loss of control of borders. Greetings to Amsterdam, near Amsterdam. And so we have first, loss of control, border control. Kursk and Belgorod border, Chernihiv and Sumy regions, which suffer greatly from Russian attacks. And once again, why this Russian volunteer corps, Freedom of Russia, they enter Ukraine from, they enter Russia from Ukrainian side. They are fighting as a part of International Legion in Ukraine, and many beautiful people from different corners of the world, from the United Kingdom, from Canada, from Brazil, I don't know, from Poland, Lithuania, Belarus fight as members of International Legion, and Russian citizens are also present there. And what is the reason, apart from liberating Russia from Putin and so on, for them to go to Belgorod and Kursk region? These regions are full of Russian military production. Also, there are lots of supplies like artillery, weaponry that they need, and it is all stored there. And of course, various plants that are working in these bordering regions, they are used for military purposes. And thank you so much, Lyle. And all of that is about stopping the military machine. And at this moment, we have 100% proof that they don't control the border. So Putin, pretending to be such a great dictator, persuading the world that it should be afraid of him, demonstrates total incapability of control over his own borders. I am sorry, but having the largest territory, the largest country in the world, and at the same time, perhaps the most miserable country in the world, okay, North Korea ranks the same, okay. Russia is not able, like, I don't know why they think they need more territories. And it's obvious they don't need territories, and they don't need people, and they don't need infrastructure. They are afraid of successful developing democracies at their borders, because this will be another reminder that you can change, you can grow, you can learn, you can make life better, streets nicer, people happier, and they don't want it in Russia, because I don't know why. What kind of curse, what kind of flaw is inside Russian consciousness, inside the system that returns them back to all of these dictatorships and all of these miseries. Unfortunately, it happens all the time, and I often ask, and maybe you can give this answer in the comments if you know it, was there a period in Russian history during, let's say, last 500 years or something that we may describe as the period of like more or less democracy, like at least adapted to Russian realities, democracy, diversity? No, it was always about spreading hatred, sharing horde mentality, and so on. Yeah, guys, I constantly want to remind you that there is already a documentary that I am a part of. It is now with subtitles, with in English, and some of you watched, but please do choose not automatic subtitles, but we have a specific file that we checked with the greatest supporter, Steve, and it's verified. It's normal quality English, so you can choose it. And I was trying. I'm not sure that I have this link here. No, I don't have this link. I will share this link after our stream if you don't know where to find this video. And thank you so much for buying me coffees, Cynthia and then answer something. I'm always very worried when I'm reading the names and as they are moving quickly. So please wait, and I will always respond and thank you and answer your questions if you have some. So please forgive if I'm making something like that. Okay, that is a sarcastic question. Do you know any good theaters in Moscow to hear a concert at? Yeah, one really best concert hall is in Kremlin, you know. Yeah, and the video is on Discord too. I mean, the documentary and the next series is on this Saturday, on this next Sunday. I'm sorry, tomorrow. Tomorrow on the channel of Suspilna Kultura. This is a Ukrainian television channel, and it will be about literature. Okay, thank you. Oh, it's nice to have pronounced the name correct. Thank you so much. And yeah, Pat, nice to see you, and thank you so much for the photo of raccoons hugging. And good, maybe some more questions, but once again, I feel okay. I will share with you one thing that I think about today. My friend subscriber shared with me a photo of people bringing flowers to say what? Oh, say what? Thank you for the sponsorship and greetings to Scotland. So people bringing flowers to embassies of Russia all over the world because of this attack in Moscow, and I totally understand, and I feel really bad when we think about such crimes. Once again, YouTube is making this very Orwellian when you have to substitute words because of some words. It makes videos less visible, and I do need people to know more about Ukraine. That's why I'm looking for the synonyms, not to sound too aggressive. And I do understand its tragedy, and I hate it. And I hate it. Like, I remember I was like, I returned back from school when 9/11 happened, and I remember watching the television alone. My parents were at work, and I was watching it. I could not believe it is possible. Like, I was still like teenagers are not always very sensitive, but I was super sensitive these days, and I could not like leave the television. I could not believe it's happening, and I had this feeling that something really wrong is happening to this world, and now it continues. So definitely I understand this feeling of sadness and distress that people have, but at the same time, similar things happen daily in Ukraine, and more people start thinking it's okay, it's a new normal. Well, in Ukraine they've got used. No, guys, I did not get used to the fact that we have air raids, bomb shelters. I did not get used that I can be killed just because I'm Ukrainian. This is a very crazy thought. This is a very crazy feeling when you realize that you're like hunted as a species. I don't know if I express that clearly enough, if that sounds okay in English, what I mean. Thank you so much, Ed and Alexandra, for buying me coffee and supporting the channel. And that's really important. And at the same time, I think like then the embassies of Ukraine in your countries should be all covered with flowers, like you won't see the roof already. Because on this day when we witness bad things happening in Moscow, we also have a Ukrainian trolley bus burning with people that travel to work, and 8 missiles were targeted and with a potential to destroy a dam and causing death to thousands in minutes, and destroying ecosystem, and then ruining our electric system, and causing a blackout on Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which might lead to another catastrophe on nuclear power station for already traumatized with Chernobyl Ukrainians. And oh my God, guys, what kind of flowers uh, you can like bring them to our embassy? I don't need them. Like, I don't need these flowers or other things around embassies. They always symbolize tragedy. But do you realize that, once again, I know you do realize, because we are a very close community. Thank you so much, Sam, for becoming a sponsor. And I do understand that, like, I'm not saying that you don't understand. I know you do. And I'm super grateful that you have come to my life and that now we have our community. That definitely, greetings to Ontario, that definitely give me more confidence and more strength. But I mean, many people, still the majority in the world, they do need more stories. Like, and I sometimes I spoke with one ambassador of Germany. I won't tell you in what country. He's a really smart person, but he says, like, well, you do not show enough sufferings. There are not enough photos of sufferings in the newspapers. And then you realize that, oh my God, Facebook blurs images, Instagram blurs images, newspapers will not print the photos. When I will start saying many things um, about people, like everything, they will tell me, oh, no, no, that's too much. Actually, I often have it when, like, I have to record some bad video when something really bad happens. For example, when Russians execute Ukrainian prisoners of war, something like that. Love to Wales. It's a beautiful place on earth that I wish to see one day. And when I share such video, I will get lots of comments of people whom I consider my friends, and I totally understand them. But the comments will be like, I will not watch it because it's very bad. And I understand them. I understand, and I'm grateful that they come to the channel, that they leave likes, that they share the videos that they can watch. It's already very important. But guys, I do not concentrate on that. Like, today we have really nice weather in here. Let me know what's the temperature in your cities. And we had, like, we measure everything with Celsius. And I don't know when will this time in my life come when I can easily translate Celsius into Fahrenheit and kilometers in miles. So I'm sorry. And yeah, I'm at home. And also, I remember, like, we have 14 today, and I decided I was working on this subtitles for the other series of the documentary, spent much time at the computer, and I've decided to take a walk, and also bought myself fish fillet. Sorry, don't know why, but I decided I wanted. And it's really far away from my city to McDonald's, but in Ukraine and in Europe, we love walking. We actually walk a lot, and I try to keep to, like, on the days when I don't have my fitness, I try to walk 10,000 steps a day. So I was walking, and I was like, I love walking. Oh, +3, +5. So sending you warm spring vibes. And I love walking a lot. Plus, walking is really good. Like, I have two states in which I have the most productive ideas. Like, when I'm walking alone, when I'm walking and I'm thinking, I love it. And also, sorry, but that's reality, in the shower. I typically, thank you so much, Yoda, for the coffees and a sip. Yeah, I'm like, I know it's about girls. It's the truth about girls. I can spend like half an hour in the shower, and I think in the shower, and I have ideas in the shower, and the same about walking. So I was like walking, and I saw, like, once again, a lot of people in the military, soldiers, and they are drinking this. My God, like Red Bull, like what? How do you call it? They are really bad. I don't like these drinks, energetics, and we all know they are really bad for. Mm, they are really bad for your heart, for your health, because they have lots of caffeine and other things. And but there are many of them on the front lines, and people drink them a lot. And actually, lots of volunteers in Ukraine, they bring these energy drinks because, from one point of view, this definitely spoils your health, but from the other point of view, this helps you survive. Because if you fall asleep in a wrong time or in a wrong place, this will lead to your death. So very often people choose like this spoiling health but surviving this period. Uh, in general, like all of us are going through this stress, and I mean those who live in houses, and also those who uh, are especially on the front line. So even if people are healthy, even if people are not wounded, even if people are young, imagine how careless they have to be with their health. It's not the moment when you think about how many hours you can sleep or in what temperature you are staying. It's awful, and I think it will have tremendous consequences. And I was thinking about this, like that when you see an energy drink in your shop, you will not have similar associations as I do. And oh yeah, vanilla coca. I have one. I found a place where they sell them in Ukraine, but they are brought from other countries, not produced in Ukraine. But anyway, there are lots of these things that have that specific meaning that changed in times of war. And this is like when I was walking, I was thinking about the things I should do, things I should write, making some plans. And when I work more, I feel better. But I was thinking about this, understanding that, oh my God, from this Russian perspective, and there are millions of people who simply want to kill a person like me, not knowing anything about us, not knowing our background, our talents, the way we cook, the way we talk, but just based on this fact that we are Ukrainian, and we say there is our language, that there is our country, that I have my own traditions and I have my own history, and it's not yours. And this is very awful. And honestly, this is something I did not believe that it is like possible in the 21st century, after we have witnessed all the terror and tragedy of the 20th century. I mean, especially the Second World War. And yeah, that's something that is still happening. That's why I understand that this loss of control over many of Russian territories, Putin's anger and inability to conduct the war about they want, the way they want, and the way they persuaded, I don't know, China and North Korea, that it is um, still we observe this war coming to Russia, loss of control over regions, many people losing their like belief that everything goes according to Putin's plan, and this is indeed very important. And I hope that very soon we will witness more and more losses of Putin's plans. And I agree with Sam that mods are absolutely awesome. They are super great friends, and I'm very happy that I've met them and that this channel has introduced me to so many good people. And I have a question. Do I remember Soviet Ukraine? You know that I feel comfortable in my age. And there were questions for a long period of time. And I share the information that I was born back in Soviet times. But I was a kid when Soviet, like, I don't know how do you describe that age? I was 6 when Soviet Union collapsed. And I remember walking with my grandma. She was listening to the radio, and she was listening actually to, I have that memory. She was listening to this stories, like conversations on the collapse of Soviet Union, Gorbachev disappeared somewhere, and so on. I don't have many memories. Plus, you have to understand that this, uh, like, I was born in 1984. So in even in 1989, I cannot tell you that I was thinking very. I do have some childish memories. Colin, thank you so much. But I remember, like, I remember queues. This is what I remember very well, and it is not a joke that we did not have many products. And I remember standing in really long queues in winter with mom. We wanted to buy butter or something. Also, I remember awfully smelling vegetable shops. Like, and in general, there was nothing like in the shops. And it was actually for a very long period in the 90s. I don't know how about you, but I like, I like dressing, I like clothes, like I like girly stuff and I don't hide it. It's normal. I like nails, I like a lot of stuff. And I think it's actually normal. But I do remember, like, when I was um at school, like I had two sweaters. And the first one was inherited from my mom. Like, she did not wear it anymore, so she gave it to me. And another one, it was just like normal thing. And you had one jeans and you had two sweaters to change them. And of course, the things that you could buy or get, they were not available. We did not have trading centers or something that you had, like the majority of people in the West had back in like 60s, 70s. Here it was department stores selling really, really sad things. And yeah, we had tangerines for winter. And I remember actually one thing that I also remember that is a sweet memory that I've tried. Yeah, I'm drinking Coca-Cola with lemon. I remember that bananas. I loved them from the very first start whenever I tried them, and I always liked bananas slightly green. And it was just like slightly green, and I remember the smell of these green bananas, and that my parents were hiding bananas from me so that I would have like one banana per day, not because they were greedy, but because they were afraid how I would react to this new product, and also because they were rare back in that time. It was perhaps still in Soviet Union. And I remember sniffing bananas when they were somewhere in another room, and I found them under the bed in a box. Thank you so much, Aussie, for becoming a sponsor. And yeah, so that was really sad. And once again, my parents, they were both dentists and they worked on a mission as Soviet doctors in Mali, in Africa. I don't know if I have any people watching us from Africa. That would be interesting. I do know I have some supporters from South Africa and from other African countries, but that would definitely be interesting. So my parents worked there for 2 years. They loved this experience, everything, the nature, the people. But they were telling me stories about Godan. Once again, I'm so worried that I pronounce your name improper. So please forgive that, but I'm really happy to see you. So yeah, I remember my parents telling me stories about French supermarkets that they visited in Bamako, and uh, various like products that people could find there. Something that was impossible here in Soviet Union, and it was definitely a bad period of time. So I don't remember much. I remember snow, queues, um, I remember the sound of TV programs, news, like it was all Soviet, like, I don't know, how do you call that program sound that you have before? Thank you so much, Jill Boy, for buying coffees. And that is, uh, yeah, do I have statistics on how many people watch from where? Yeah, I do. And if I'm not mistaken, like the United States of America rank first, then Great Britain, then Canada, then Germany, and then Sweden. But yeah, I was born under Soviet, not reign, but I was born under Soviet occupation. That is important to remember. Yeah. Uh, the sooner we liberate Crimea, the better. Yeah, I also like bananas, and tangerines are still associated with, I don't know, friend, what scouse is. Honestly, I have to Google that word. Hopefully, I will not forget it. So, in general, it is indeed quite like interesting, these memories, but it was the moment when people were all disappointed with Soviet Union, and I know it was like super poor. That's what I know. Like when you cannot get anything, and also the start of the 90s, it was really bad. Like everything evolved very quickly because I hated when people who have never been to Ukraine and who were somehow influenced by um, once again this image of Ukraine as a wild country. They think we don't have anything. Like we have super beautiful like malls, restaurants, and all of that is working actually even in times of war. And after we win, you will travel and you will see a lot. And I do like it when people and lots of friends like whom I meet who come here, for example, with a mission, they say, "Oh my God, we did not think you're so normal." And I mean, like, not me personally, because who said I'm normal, right? Sorry. I mean, like, environment, the country, and often they are super surprised to see that, oh my God, it's not worse than, like, I don't know, Poland, Lithuania. Some things are better, some things are worse, but it's a normal territory. It's not something that, it's not something that is very very different from the way you live, the way you eat, the way you shop, the way you travel. Like, okay. And yeah, I'm really happy when you let me know that you would love to travel to Ukraine one day after we win. Once again, some of you come to help Ukraine, and I'm very very grateful for that. But it is extremely important to remember that it is very dangerous in any location and anything can happen. So, of course, if you are like 100% sure, or you had some combat experience, or it is what I call a conscious decision, then one thing. But if it is a romantic urge, um, well, that's kind of not the thing to follow. Wait and then come. And thank you so much, Joni, for joining as a member. So it is indeed very interesting, and in my, like Taylor Swift sings, in my wildest dreams, I imagine how, for example, after the war, we try to think and organize, I don't know, some trips, some tours for people who want to discover Ukraine with like normal English language support. I don't know, um, taking into account like your maybe family heritage and other stuff. So I'm thinking about that, like business. But you never know. Thank you so much, Custom Fantasy, for becoming Russian Ukrainian supporters. Well, like, yeah, thank you so much for this idea. I'm in general quite negative about Russian YouTubers. I know that some people like them, and I actually know that many of you follow. YouTube tells me that too. I know. YouTube tells me more about you than you expect. Well, I'm like joking, but when you look at your YouTube page analytics, apart from countries, thank you so much, Run Forest, and cheers to you. Um, We have this statistics, and it shows me what channels you prefer. It shows like 10 most popular channels among my viewers, and there are some Russian YouTubers. Thank you so much, Rudy. Was that you who cheered people to wait for the start of live? If so, then double gratitude to you. And I remember like watching that many of you like and watch Russian YouTubers and support them, and many send me links and so on. Uh, well, I'm not saying that all of them are bad, but I cannot be super excited about them because I think there are lots of things they have to do inside their countries, and the majority of them escaped. Well, Vlad Wexler is not a Russian YouTuber for me. I love watching his videos. He is a person that left Soviet Union when he was a kid in 90s or before 90s and spent most of his grown up life in the UK, and he definitely has a very wide outlook on the world. So, I mean, those people who constantly speak about Russia and who escaped to, I don't know, Tbilisi or elsewhere and pretend that they are fighters. No, they simply use this topic that is to a great extent attracts attention of people. And unfortunately, guys, unfortunately, also statistics of YouTube, when you have Moscow in your video, it will have more views than when you have Kyiv. We have to change that. And all of these people, like, I mean, YouTubers in Russia, they do not try to do anything inside their country. They don't try to influence any movements. And even those who escaped and, I mean, live now safely in Europe or in the US, I don't see them organizing any, at least virtual movements, trying to change something or at least to build this alternative abroad. Thank you so much, Jens. Oh, thank you for calling me a natural beauty. I've told you I like girly stuff, so compliments also go that way. So, it is extremely important to understand that we have to see some real actions. Like in Ukraine, many things are happening. Like I stay and I live in this country. I support its economy. I teach at the university. I have my NGO that deals with lots of cultural projects. There are lots of things that I do inside apart from vlogging outside. And I think similar things Russian YouTubers, especially those who want to bring change in their country, should do. And I hope that one day they will organize in a movement that will prepare an alternative for this regime. Because once again, if Putin regime collapses, if we manage together, I don't know, with people to liberate them, so what will happen? It will be vacuum, no one to substitute. We don't see any real opposition. What is also a thing that we have to remember is the fact that many of these anti-Putin vloggers are actually Russian imperialists, and when you start speaking with them, they will start mocking like Belarus language, or they will say that no, Kyiv is a Russian city. So they may not like Putin's attitudes, but they may be deeply very imperial and very chauvinistic in their heart. So, and another very important reminder, you cannot ask Ukrainian to be positive towards like any Russians at all. I am not aggressive. I never, greetings to Italy, I never encourage you to be like aggressive to people, but I cannot say anything good. Like I can say good things about Freedom of Russia Legion, about Russian Volunteer Corps, and Siberian Battalion. These are good Russians for me. That's it. Once again, I want to thank all of you and our beautiful moderators, and Neil, and Rudy, and Michael for being an active part of our community. And I'm really glad, Scott, that you like being with us. And that's the very same feeling that I have. And remember to like the video. Someone wrote that we are breaking a record of likes during live stream. Am I right? And once again, using this opportunity, I will encourage you to join my Instagram. I share some reels, some photos, some stories from everyday life that are less serious than for YouTube. So do join me there. And I hope that soon I will have 10,000 subscribers on Instagram. And the links are in the description of the channel. And from time to time, guys, drop them. Thank you so much, Peter, for coffees and for such a beautiful comment. And once again, I will return back today or tomorrow to all the comments that you've left on Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. And it is a great blessing to have you and to feel your support on a daily basis. And like when something really bad happens, and I need to talk to like someone, I do have this feeling that I'm talking to you, like to friends and family. And from one point of view, I honestly do not want to disappoint you, but at the same time, sharing is very important. And it's really difficult in this times when many bad things are happening. And so maybe a couple of questions more, and I will let you go. And oh, coffee from Colombia. I would like to come one day to beautiful Colombia. Oh, there is one thing that I want to share with you. You've reminded me that, and maybe I will make a Facebook post on that. I was interviewed together with other Ukrainians for El Espectador, which is one of the newspapers that I love so much. Why? Because my most favorite writer in the world, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, wrote for this newspaper. And it is also a great fighter for justice in the world. It was bombed by Pablo Escobar. So just imagine a newspaper where your favorite Nobel Prize winning writer was working, and that was bombed by Pablo Escobar, addresses you. And once again, it was made possible because of one of my subscribers. And it is such an inspiration. It was dedicated to the second year of war in Ukraine, but anyway, working on the promotion of the documentary and on the channel. If you do have some like media outlets that might be interested in cooperation, and thank you so much, Yoda. And like I'm always open for such conversations, and like I will always say yes. And thank you so much, Jan, for coffees. And greetings to Los Angeles. That is really far away, but at the same time so close. Do I like Spanish? Sí, me encanta mucho. Necesito práctica, pero tengo mi familia en Argentina con quien hablo español, pero no tan fácil, rápido, no tan rápido como ellos. Oh, I like different music. And perfecto, gracias. And thank you so much, Bruce, for the support. And please forgive disappearing comments. This is not me. This is not Martina Spencer. This is either Russian trolls or too sensitive. What did I want to say? Or too too sensitive YouTube algorithms. No, I can only say in French a couple of phrases. And that's just like merci, bonjour, and some like not many anyway. Ça va bien. And ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich studiere Deutsch in der Universität. It was my second language, but I did not. The bad thing when I travel, and I often like visited Germany, and the bad thing is that I understand almost everything, but just like a dog, especially when people are, no, I don't speak Polish, but I understand Polish, and not yet Swedish, but you'll teach me, right? And yes, Odessa is a like dangerous location now. So I understand your worries, but let's hope everything will be nice. Greetings to The Hague. Will you host us when we will come to vlog from The Hague and watching Putin Putin court. Yeah. The book is. I have returned back to the book because there was lots of work with the documentary, and there is also an idea to turn documentary in the book, but no Estonian, a little bit Lithuanian. I know achu and some other words, but do I have some Lithuanian people on the stream right now? I don't think it is safe to visit any place in Ukraine, but of course, Lviv is safer than Kharkiv or Odessa or some other things closer to the front lines. And I'm not like famous in Ukraine in that way, but with this documentary, more people may know about my job. Because, like many of you ask why I don't have many Ukrainian subscribers. Well, not all Ukrainians need the English version of the information. My intention of this channel was to tell people abroad about what's happening here. So some watch and some tell that I help them improve their English, but they come here with a different like perspective because inside Ukraine, the majority of things I'm speaking are known. I'm sharing with you this information that I process as an ordinary Ukrainian. And there was a beautiful question how to pronounce this Ukrainian word that we used at the start of invasion as a test. And I will say it. Palyanica. Palyanica. Palyanica is a kind of you may hear this weird sounds outside, and some of you will tell your neighbors or something. And I have to confess, I live close to a popular pub. It's actually far away, but Saturday is the day. And yes, during war times, people also visit pubs, and the acoustics of the street is like that. And they walk by and you can hear the sound. So it's not that I have bad neighbors or something. These are people passing by, and I've got used to that. And actually, before the start of war, I hated this pub and I called it Orky Pub because of the behavior of the people who are living it. No, it was not a dog. It was a group of young men. So yeah, Putin to see in The Hague, I'm sure, I hope we will. So palyanica. Do you hear any unusual sounds for your ears? Because I always love when I come across a foreign sound. It's always a reminder about the beautiful culture of our planet. Perhaps one of the problems that Russians, for example, cannot reproduce is this ta sound. We say palyanica. It's soft. And they will say palyanica. And also, for example, a cat for in Ukrainian, which is also a similar, it's kitya. Yeah, kit is like he. He is kit, and she is kitya. And these are the sounds, and it was like interesting. Yeah, we have good pubs and good beer. We may say that pub culture was inherited not in a bad way. So polonitsa is a kind of bread, and kita is a she cat, and kitya, it would be kitya if you'd spell it. And also strawberry in Ukrainian is polunitsa. And there was like a joke or a task that no Russian would pass, but honestly, I think some of you would fail too. That would be something like "Киця їсть паляницю і заїдає полуницею." Pivo. In Ukrainian, we also have pivo will be like Russian. Yeah. So these are all of the words. Palyanica. My favorite beer. I will confess, I have recently discovered that I love IPA a lot. IPA, like I love it. Most people don't like it here in Ukraine, and I like it a lot. So maybe a couple of serious questions. I see like not very serious questions too. But anyway, yeah, in German, I think, in German, it's not that problematic. But I also know that people who come to Ukraine, for example, from Spain, it was always very problematic for them to, it was always problematic for them to pronounce the name of my city, Lutsk. And they will always say Lux or something like that when it is Lutsk. Lutsk. The sound that is not that easy. Yeah, there are a lot of craft breweries in Ukraine, and I'd say that the culture of production um, beer is really high. And in, for example, in my region, it's really nice, honestly. No, I don't play chess. I'm sorry. I tried, but I failed. And also, I do not ride a bicycle. And what else? And I can drive a car, but I don't like it. Oh, I am expecting Taurus and F-16 for the last year and a half. I can tell you it's a long time of expecting. And before the war, before the loss of my mom, when I was just like a normal person, I mean, like living a life that I did not expect to be so harsh, I was very impatient. I was very impatient. My parents had one joke about me, which can tell you a lot. Like, I wanted shoes when I was a kid, and they've told me, like, in the shop, and they've told me, okay, we will buy them tomorrow. And my answer was, if tomorrow, then I don't need them at all. But life was harsh, and I've learned to be patient. Unfortunately, it was not my choice. But anyway, uh, do you? I understand Siri sometimes, and I like using AI. I'm not against AI. I am for AI. So yeah, but no, I was not like using the money. I was always worried and not to spend too much money of my parents. That was never the case. It was the thing that we went to buy me shoes. It was planned, and I liked ones, and perhaps they did not like that ones. And but in general, I cannot remember. I don't have brothers or sisters. I'm the only one. They made me and realized they achieved perfection. So so they stopped making other children. Uh, oh my God, what Ukrainian beer have I seen available in Europe? I don't know. I have to check it. Lvivske, maybe made in Lviv, Lvivske, maybe Obologne, um, something like that. I have to check it. That's a really good question, by the way. And yeah, remember to like the video if you like it. Uh, ah, thank you so much. And also, I think in general that there are many things that are tasty and interesting and could be good for export outside of Ukraine, and that would be good. Raccoons. Unfortunately, we don't have raccoons in wild nature, but maybe we will. Yeah, I hope that NATO people will come and stay here. My favorite female figure in history. Oh my God, that's a good question. Like, I have Caesar on my phone, so I have to say Cleopatra, but I'm not sure. That's actually a harsh question. I like more men in history. Sorry, I sound like a sexist. All high school, but definitely, I thought if we talk about world history, in Ukrainian history, it might be Olha, because she is definitely a warrior, and she is cool. Uh, the winter was European, nothing that different. Oh my God, in Ukraine, is it soda or pop? I don't understand the question. Like soda? Like cola? Or what? Yeah, I did try Carlsberg. It's good. Like, I may say that just like I like beer. That's like beer, wine, my kind, and whiskey cola. But this is not whiskey cola, honestly. This is just cola. And okay, my favorite Ukrainian group is, and I've mentioned that, Okan Elze. They are super popular. When I was at school, I loved them a lot. Now, when I'm grown up, I'm less like enthusiastic, but I do like them. That's my favorite group. And Yeah, lots of young people practice FPV drones. That's actually a good question. And Guinness, but only when in Dublin, sister. Gin tonic is also good for summer. What a serious vlog I have today. But there are lots of courses that are open for drone operators, even civilian drone operators. There was also an initiative that people can construct drones at homes, but honestly, people don't want it. Like, I mean, military don't want it because this is very important. That, like, everything is very important. Drone is still a technology, and you do not want to trust your life to a technology that was made on kitchen. So in general, it is not totally okay. Uh, and there are things like training. These are good and they are super popular, and it's even among teenagers, among school children, among young university students. You know that we do not mobilize to army people until they are 27, and in this period, like when you're 18, you already consider yourself adult in Ukraine, and you know that our students go to university earlier than, for example, in the US. I finished my school when I was 16. I turned 17 when I was on the first course, and I graduated from the university. I was 22. So, actually, this is something that is a little bit different from, for example, the United States. And some teachers who come here to help us, they think, "Oh my God, why do you have so many children at the university?" So these young people, they are very much interested to protect the country, to participate, and that's the good way. For example, the construction of drones, training to operate them, and they change a lot. They change a lot. And well, can I talk to people in occupied villages like Melitopol? Melitopol is a big city with super good sweet cherries, and I know people from Melitopol. I greetings to Finland, and people have connections, but they have to be very careful. Like, I mean, I don't have any acquaintance there at the moment to talk to, but they definitely keep in touch. But they have to be really careful because orcs are orcs, and they search for people. They check their mobile phones, and I know that many people who were under occupation, for example, in Kherson, they shared stories that they would go out only without mobile phones because they can be stopped on the streets, they can be searched, they will look inside their telephone, and if there is anything that they may see theirs, then oh my God, they will have consequences. So the majority of people were going out without telephone. And my favorite animal, there are many. Like, of course, I love raccoon that has already become a mascot of our channel. And also, I love cats, and I love red pandas, corgis. And like I say corgis, and I get the sentence, I agree with you. Of course. Yeah. This is important to squirrels. Yes, of course, squirrels and koalas. They are so huggable, and I hope they smell like eucalypts. Dolphins, of course, they are amazing, but they are water animals. I was thinking about those covered with fluff. Oh, greetings to your corgi. What's the name of your corgi, Dan? Uh, Okay, and yeah, we need 1,900 likes, Nail says, and I totally share his opinion. Yeah, Welsh dogs, corgis. I always, when it's raining and the grass is high, they you have to brush their uh, tummies. Like, how are Ukrainians feeling about what is going on in Washington regarding more support? Why do I think I don't speak about that on the channel? I mean, very much. Well, because there is nothing good that I can tell you. I honestly understand this is election and you have a lot of problems in your country, guys, but it's not that. And many people try to describe Ukrainians as constantly hungry, asking for more and more. But first of all, we are fighting with a really big country that has lots of weapons since the time of the Cold War. Second, after the collapse of Soviet Union, it was not only Russia but many other like countries, including the United States, that actively encouraged Ukraine to demilitarize. It was a tendency, it was fashion. I don't mean they did it for something bad, but it was a plan that we will just like become more peaceful, and we gave up our nuclear potential. We were selling or giving for better gas prices our aircraft to Russian missiles and other stuff. And people and countries encouraged us to do that. They cheered and they told us, in case of emergency, we will help you. And here we have this case of emergency. And honestly, if intelligence services in Germany say that Putin is getting ready to attack NATO by 2026, it is so. It sounds crazy, but it is so. We were warned full scale war will start. It seemed irrational, but it became real. The same is about this act in Moscow. The US embassy warned it may happen. It happened. And now, NATO country, it may happen. He is shaking NATO from inside. He wants to demonstrate that West is weak, NATO is weak, and there are some politicians supporting these ideas. And I know that it may seem that Europe, Ukraine is really far away, but you see how everything is interconnected. Ukraine targets oil refineries, and Washington says that all prices are going high. Everything is super interconnected in this world. And for example, the fall of Ukraine will mean more expenditures actually. For example, United States and Canada will send more troops to Poland. They will build more military bases, and in the result, it may be it may be more expensive for taxpayers than it is now. I think that the cheapest way was to give everything we asked for and needed back in 2022, when Russia did not yet negotiate supplies with North Korea, Iran, when we had this like motivation, and it was much better to give like, I know the training program is long, but F-16s were needed before the start of counteroffensive. And many claim that counteroffensive was not that successful, but we did not get the things we vitally needed it. And according to NATO standards, no country would start a counteroffensive not having domination in the skies and support from the skies. So that's what we think. And actually, when I turn off my Ukrainianness, if it's possible to say so, and I start to think about in general, I think that such like polarization that is present, such aggression that is present during before the elections, it's really bad for the world and for the United States in general. Just not even forgetting about Ukraine. So I do hope, as one of my beautiful friends who is watching this wrote to me, that maybe it's not the first time and not the last time when the United States overcomes such things. Always such demons like Putin and Soviet leaders, they were trying to shake your democracy, to shake things, but they fail. And I hope it will happen again. So just like a cold. But we desperately need that. Honestly, I don't speak about that much, but do you remember how we were destroying all of the missiles with our air defense systems, and now we don't? Can you guess why? No, not because we've lost precision, or how do you say it, but because we don't have enough of these missiles. And like, if we are not allowed to target oil refineries, if we are not supplied with like enough Patriot systems and other stuff, what is like, sometimes when I'm at the worst, like when I feel really when I feel really like down, I feel that many actually have this feeling and this dream that, like, oh my God, it would be better if Ukraine would have collapsed this during this blitzkrieg, and we did not have all of these troubles happening. Um, well, like, do not need permission. You are right, and that's what we continue doing. But when you break this permission, they say, okay, we wanted to give you 50 F-16s, now we will give you 5 because you broke the permission. And when you're waiting for this F-15s and it takes you a year, and during this year, like 10,000 of your best soldiers die because you do need protection from the skies. It's not like simple waiting for a bus on the bus stop. During every day, people die, more infrastructure destroyed, more electricity destroyed, more things where we can produce something destroyed. So that's kind of why this waiting is very problematic and very emotional, and it's not normal waiting. It's not just like waiting for food in the restaurant. Okay, pilot training needs a lot of time. Patriot training does not need a lot of time. Taurus training does not need a lot of time. And if they were warning us about this war for a year, why didn't this pilot training started back then? Because people thought that, once again, I honestly think that the majority of the politicians believed we will fall. And they were already designing how to live in this world where Russia got more land and Russia came closer to Poland. And voila, oh, I speak French, you see, voila. And Ukraine did not fall. Something went not according to the plan, and people now don't know. Like, the problem is, and many vloggers speak about that, and Jake and Vlad and Jonathan, there is no plan, there is no strategy, and we feel that in Ukraine too. We do have strategy and plan, but we need weapons for that. And in the world, there is no plan. What do we do with Russia? What do we do with Ukraine? What do we do in this or that case? And this is really bad. Because if you'd ask, most people want to return back to normal. It's impossible. It's impossible to return back to normal with Hitler. It's impossible to fast forward, and then how do you rewind back? Thousands of Ukrainians are dead. Thousands of crimes committed, war crimes registered, described. And once again, I do, in those saddest moments, like it was yesterday, I do have this feeling that the world actually thought we would fall, and the world accepted that. And the fact that we did not, and that with this very limited resources and Ukrainian creativity, we are able to do something, they feel like, oh my God, when will it finish? But somehow they don't think it should finish on our terms. And if Ukraine loses, the democratic world also loses. Believe me. Believe me. Putin will feel it like that, and it is like that, because come on, you are our allies. It's official. It was seen by anyone. So if we fail, he will know that he will attack country by country, and they will also fail. And it may not reach the United States or Canada through the ocean, but it will reach through other countries, other conflicts. Taiwan, something in Latin America, something in China, elsewhere. It will lead to this global turbulence, just as annexation of Crimea led to the continuation of this war. If Putin was hit hard after he attacked Crimea, and Crimea would return back to Ukraine, he would not dare to start this war. He would know, like, the world is watching. But no, we decided not to be, well, like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, potentially, Moldova, definitely, Georgia. And then there were also times when part of Germany was Russian, and they remember that. They remember that. So let's not think about these negative things, because it's really difficult and we have to unite. And once again, I'm sharing that with you, not because I know you know. I know you feel that. And I know you are amazing people who help me spread this message and who share, you actually provide me with lots of arguments and ideas. And I'm very grateful for that. And but at the same time, uh, there are many who don't, and they think they can hide. Once again, remember to join me on X and Threads. I try to post some other things there, different from YouTube, like shorter. And yesterday I read it on my friend's Facebook when she said she was too tired to go to a shelter, a bomb shelter. And you have to realize people get tired. After 2 years, there are moments when you think, oh, come on, I don't want to hide. I don't want to run. Of course, deep down inside yourself, you hope it will not shoot you this day, but there are moments when you are ignorant to danger because you are too tired. And there were people sharing, uh, there are people sharing things like, I was very tired at night and I heard explosions, but I did as I did when I was a child. I hid under the blanket with my head, hiding from monsters. And you really well know that a blanket on a bed will not save you if missile targets your house. And um, it's awful what's happening on a daily basis, and how people outside of that want to find a solution and to pretend they don't see it, or it's something like, we still have to figure out, or people say, maybe you've spent some money not on the things you need. Guys, we are shelled like crazy daily. Dozens of innocent people, children, are killed daily. There is just like no questions to us at all, honestly. Like, and you're trying, like, I feel that some people are trying to find some excusing, looking that like you are slowly at reforming your judgmental system, but Russia is not reforming at all, and Russia is killing us daily. But I'm very much afraid when people are trying to find these excuses, when just like, I will not save that neighbor because she has a barking dog, so let the maniac kill it. It's uncomparable. So yeah, but fear, it's just like mm, the the fear is okay, but I don't like comparing it to that. And actually, mm, I honestly felt very sorry yesterday for Kate Middleton. And actually, oh god, this is a secret that I will share with you. That is why I look so sad on a photo with Moscow attack. Because before that, I've just read the news about Kate Middleton, and I felt sorry because all the memories from my mom's illness came back to me, and how it all evolved and how difficult it was. But Russia can only be compared to cancer. It's not a kind of disease where you observe what will happen to a patient without interfering, like, I don't know, maybe with diabetes, or maybe with high blood pressure, or maybe with anxiety. You can observe and see something changes, body adapts, and person survives. But with a cancer diagnosis, you cannot wait and observe, or you cannot tell a patient, wait 3 months until we get the medicine that you need, because that stuff is growing, killing, spreading, and may reach a moment when nothing can be done. Russia is just the same. It's not a moment to observe. Uh, so yeah. Uh, yeah, so I just wanted to compare that to Russia. And that's this advice that it takes long training, just like training of F-16 pilots takes long, and training of nurses sometimes takes long, and everything like that. And that's why it's so important. Many of you beautiful people share questions about the donations on my community tab. I shared some things. Of course, United 24 is good. and there are other and alive and other, and I will share more of. I will try to repeatedly share, maybe once a month or something, the list of on the fundraising initiatives that you can trust. Of course, there are many more, but I try to find those that I either know or they have a good, or they have a good English pages, so that when you donate your money, you feel safe. That's important. And once again, yeah, I want to thank Spencer, and I want to thank Martin for all the patience and good job that you're doing with your support. And yeah, I'm going to do a new NAFO campaign. We are negotiating and preparing something special, and I love 69th Sniffing Brigade. We stay in touch, which means this is, I hope, just the beginning. And the English version of the documentary, we have the subtitles and you can choose them, but there will be a dubbed version with me speaking. And we haven't recorded the audio recorded that yet, but that's exactly what we are working on, and I think it's super important. And I already announced that I will ask your support, maybe in sharing, in reaching some local TVs or something like that, because honestly, there's a lot of things to do in the way people in Ukraine popularize themselves. There are lots of things that we need to do. Great Russian Lies, this is the title of it. And I will tell you about this NAFO campaign. It's coming soon, but this Friday they brought another convoy, so they were a bit busy, and we are working on the design of new patches, and they are going to be amazing. Amazing. And I do love this campaign with NAFO. They are super professional, super transparent, super quick, and really good people. So anyway, remember to subscribe to my Instagram. Make me a surprise. I want to have 10,000 followers there, and I try to share more of like everyday stuff there. Also, join me on X. I have to be there because scammers appear, and also many of you follow me there, and I start sharing some opinions on X, also on Threads. And of course, we have a beautiful Discord community. Martin, Michael, and many more good people are active there, and I pop in. And also, yeah, I don't mind look into Anglosphere media interviews. Please help me with that. I don't mind. I always say yes whenever I have this possibility. And also, we have a merch shop with lots of beautiful items, and I love it how you send me photos wearing our t-shirts, and also everything that you use them to start conversations and remind people about Ukraine. Thank you once again for becoming sponsors of this channel, for becoming my patrons. This is the coolest group of people. Thank you for buying me coffees. This is a true blessing, but most importantly, thank you for your friendship that I feel. Remember, I never invite you to Telegram or WhatsApp. These are scammers. And whenever I address you with some specific questions, which I almost never do, check the name of the channel, because they can steal a photo, but they cannot steal the name of the channel. It is only Anna from Ukraine. But when it is something like Miss Princess Anna 1, 2 from, of course, this is a scammer. So be careful. We try to block them as soon as possible, but sometimes they can appear at night and so on. Anyway, thank you for being with me. Like 1,000 of us who are watching, and even more, and I'm blessed to have you in my life. And united we stand. This is not going to be a simple year, but I believe good prevails over evil, and we must prove it once again, just as we did back in the times of the Second World War. Thank you once again. I love you very much. I will say it in Ukrainian right now. Люблю вас дуже сильно. Thank you once again, and Slava Ukraini. Thank you so much, guys.